Hello everyone, Alice here again. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking you through my exploration of the many Harry Potter themed shops in Edinburgh, and trust me, there are a lot. I ended up visiting 4 shops in total within about a mile radius from each other, right in the city centre, so they're super easy to go and visit if you're ever in Edinburgh and that's something that would interest you. I'm still getting used to vlogging, and honestly it's kind of awkward vlogging in public, so I've pre-filmed my journey and now I'm going to talk over it and give you some information about how each shop is different and what they're like. You might be watching this just because you're interested, in which case I hope you enjoy. Otherwise, you might be watching because you're a big Harry Potter fan and are considering coming to Edinburgh, in which case this will hopefully give you a good idea of which shops are the right ones to visit for you, because in my opinion you certainly don't need to visit them all. There are so many and you don't need to spend your entire day going to all of them because it can get quite repetitive. I would like to quickly apologise for the shakiness of my camera. Most of these shops don't open until about 11 AM when it's already pretty busy in the city centre, especially on a weekend, which was the only time I could go. So I was trying not to shove a camera in people's faces while still getting as much content as possible. At the moment you're watching my journey up the Royal Mile to Edinburgh Castle. I just thought I'd take a quick walk up there since all of the shops I visited are no more than about a 5-minute walk from here. So if you're nearby, I definitely recommend taking the extra walk up to the castle, if only for the views. You'll see some pretty spectacular views here, and at the end of the video I show the views from the other side of the castle, which are honestly the best part. So the first shop I visited was the Enchanted Galaxy on the Royal Mile. Unfortunately, despite Google saying otherwise, it was closed. I'm not sure if it's closed because of COVID, temporarily closed, permanently closed, but I couldn't go into that one unfortunately. So I headed along to Victoria Street to go to the other Enchanted Galaxy. Yes, there's more than one. Victoria Street's said to be the inspiration for WizardingAlice, so if you're going to shop for HP merchandise, you may as well do it here for the vibe. As you'll see from the doormat before, it used to be called the Boy Wizard, but seems to have been bought over by the Enchanted Galaxy brand. And this shop's definitely one of the biggest of the ones I visited. It's pretty huge. There's so much stuff in here, ranging from merchandise you can find in lots of Harry Potter shops to stuff I've never seen before. There's also a couple of Marvel and Star Wars bits and some general touristy merchandise too, so it's not all Harry Potter. I really did like the feel of this shop. It felt magical and they'd done a really good job displaying everything. I could have spent much longer here, and as you'll see in a little bit, I actually ended up getting distracted by a Chudley Cannon's travel bag. I'd never seen that before and I did actually end up buying it, so I really could have spent ages perusing everything. Overall, I would recommend this shop either to someone who's really serious about their Harry Potter shopping and wants to buy a lot of merchandise, because this is definitely the biggest, or someone who doesn't have a lot of places near where they live to get Harry Potter stuff. Maybe you live in a city that just doesn't have Harry Potter merchandise, because this is where you'll get most of your generic stuff. So if you're really looking for those key things like a wand, a uniform, general stuff like that, this is the best place to find it, I think. I don't want that to come across as an insult when I say generic merchandise. The stuff is really lovely, but as I said, a lot of it is stuff you could find in other places all over the world. You'll see there's some themed house stuff as well, which is fantastic. It really is a great shop. The staff were super friendly as well, and it's large enough that it didn't feel super claustrophobic, which you'll notice I maybe mention a little bit later on is an issue with some of the shops, and is an issue with Edinburgh in general. The buildings are all quite close together and quite small, so it can feel a bit claustrophobic sometimes. I then walked across the road over to the museum Context. Don't let the facade fool you, it's just a Harry Potter shop. That being said, it's definitely the coolest of all the shops in terms of looks. It's made to be like a Victorian shop of curiosities with lots of cool decor that you can explore around the building. Of course, in amongst all of those things is the Harry Potter merchandise, but this shop is more of an experience and you feel like you're a character in a book, rather than someone just shopping for the merchandise. And buying a wand here really feels like you're buying your own wand rather than, as I said, just a piece of merchandise. The downside, as I kind of hinted at before, is it's a very small building. It's 3 stories, but the stairs only really hold one person at a time, and as you can imagine, it gets very busy in there. As such, I do recommend trying to come in a quieter time if there is such a thing, and it might not be great for people with severe claustrophobia. But if you can battle the crowds, it is a pretty amazing shop. I would recommend taking a visit if you maybe have quite a lot of Harry Potter merch already. Maybe you live somewhere like London or New York where the larger stores are, so you want something that's more of an experience, which this definitely is. Finally, I visited another shop on Colburn Street, another great street for shopping that gives you a real wizardy feel. The facade of this shop is quite like the others, but it's slightly off the beaten path when it comes to all the other related shops. So I do tend to find that this one tends to be quite a bit quieter than the others. So again, if you're looking for just to be away from other people, away from the crowds, especially if you come in the summer, this is a great shop to visit. That being said, I was a little disappointed with this one. It's not got any of the theming inside that the other stores do. It just felt like a square room with merchandise inside. I'd also say about half of the shop had the Harry Potter merchandise, while the rest had typical Scottish Edinburgh tourist stuff, which definitely appeals to some people. It was really nice, but it wasn't what I was looking for today. The HP stuff in there was nice, but I had already found almost all of it in the other shops I'd already mentioned, and they definitely gave me more of a unique shopping experience. So overall, I'd recommend visiting the others instead, unless you really can't face the crowds, or you just happen to be closer to this one. It is a great shop. And we're back at the castle. So that does it for all the Harry Potter related shops I visited in Edinburgh. I definitely didn't get them all. There's constantly new ones popping up all over the place, and many tourist shops will have Harry Potter merchandise hidden away in them since they're such big sellers in the city. I wasn't able to visit Galaxy on this trip, which is another fandom store on Southbridge. It's a little bit of a further walk away, but that store has a mixture of Harry Potter, Marvel and Star Wars, so it would be a great place to visit if you're with a group that has a mix of different interests. There's also an HP shop at Edinburgh Airport, but you have to have a valid plane ticket to get through to that area, so obviously I wasn't able to show you that today. That being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had a blast filming it. I am planning to do lots of HP related videos on this channel, so if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to make it happen.